Howdy, peeps. I gotta say, I'm very disappointed. Very disappointed. The reason I asked to interview Gail is because her story needs to be told. This was not salacious. This wasn't talk radio or, reality TV. And I must say that I'm rather disappointed that some of you, perhaps understandably, took it that way. It speaks for itself. Her story does. One of my commentators said that, took her on and said, there's no way that our church or certain bishops are allied with terrorist groups. Folks, what happened to Gail is terrorism. And it's been ongoing. Vandalism is terrorism. Having shots fired at the house you're trying to sell or, refurbish is terrorism. Being forced to sell your house because you're not welcome or you're worried because of the constant vandalism of the landscape, that's terrorism too. Not being able to attend the local parish because there are certain people, not all, but certain, who are still mad at you. Well, that may not be terrorism per se, but it's not loving kindness. Okay? We were going to do a part 3 in which she was going to go into more details. She's probably going to be mad at me because she wanted me to take the whole thing down. I said, let's wait. Because she felt like she was scandalizing some very fine people on this blog, readers, and possibly even scandalizing the Antiochian jurisdiction. And she's in the Antiochian jurisdiction. She loves the Antiochian jurisdiction. Just a few months ago, she said that the Greek archdiocese is probably going to have to be folded into the Antiochian jurisdiction. Okay, that doesn't sound like somebody who is against the Patriarchate of Antioch to me, and I know it doesn't to you either. Okay, there are many heroes in this, including her priest, her former priest, Father Wayne, including the priest where she was living in Tucson, Father Philip, including the deans of the West Coast, who all came to her defense, most especially then Bishop Joseph, now Metropolitan Joseph, who authorized and gave permission for her son Andrew Chase to receive an Orthodox funeral, even though he was not a baptized Orthodox Christian. He was baptized, but in the Episcopalian Church. That's huge. What Metropolitan Joseph did, it was just literally huge and wonderful and Christian. Okay? And I'm sure that Metropolitan Joseph, her priest, the deacons, the deans, the other priests of the West Coast also came to her defense when then Metropolitan Philip wanted to really go after her. I don't know the details. I'm just sure that they did. And God bless them for it. We're missing the bigger picture here, though, folks. It's not about what happened in the past. Okay, it's what's happening now. She's still being harassed, or has been for the past couple of years. Was forced to sell her parents' home, the only thing she had. Okay. There's no. The Antiochian jurisdiction is not doing this presently. Not. Under no circumstances. certain holdovers from the past who are still beholden to the old way of doing things and who are very much tied into the old world and its pathologies are the ones who have, let's just say, made her life miserable. This is not about Gail, though, folks. Gail is one person. Others were hurt. She named them. Okay? I don't know whether they continue to be hurt. If they want to get in touch with me, they may do so. This pathology is endemic to American Orthodoxy because we will not cut our ties, our apron strings, to the old world patriarchates. If anything, as far as I'm concerned, the Antiochian jurisdiction has pretty much righted itself. Okay, especially under Metropolitan Joseph. I've heard nothing but wonderful things about him. I'm Greek. I'm a Greek American on both sides. Well, you can't say that about the Greek Archdiocese, can you? If anything, it's just gotten horribly worse. And it's not going to get any better because all the powers that be are doing are talking about just removing Demetrius and replacing him with somebody else. You're going to have, all you're doing is rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic. We need to love our patriarchates. We need to support our brothers and sisters overseas. No question. They need to support each other. They need to support us. But we need an American Orthodox Church. One of Gail's critics took me on when I said, you know, there's over 50 bishops here in America. Why can't we have a bishop in every state? And this critic said, oh, you don't understand. I mean, it's too complicated. It's too expensive. Well, you know, I don't believe that. I really don't. But I thought, let me do some research on this. So I went to the Patriarchate of Constantinople website, and according to their website, there are approximately 5 million people within the Patriarchate of Constantinople. 1.5 million in the diaspora, 3.5 million in Greece. I think the northern tier of Greek counties, or nomi as they call them, are still, and the Dodecanese Islands belong to the Patriarchate of Constantinople, as does Mount Athos. Now those are the official numbers. They say there are 1.5 million in the diaspora. I don't believe it. 500,000 tops. Okay? We've played this game before, that there are 3 million Greek Americans in the Archdiocese or 1 million Greek Americans in the Archdiocese. No. 100,000, 125,000 tops. And the number is decreasing every day. Leave that aside. Let's leave that aside. Okay? And let's just take them at their word that there are 1.5 million in the diaspora, 3.5 million in Greece, 5 million total within the Patriarchate of Constantinople. What's my point? Do you know how many bishops are in the Patriarchate of Constantinople? It's on the website. 125. Okay? 125. Now you do the math. Divide 5 million by 125 and you'll get some number. I think, if memory serves, only 53 are titular, the others are diocesan ordinaries. In other words, they actually have dioceses, like the Metropolitan of Denver, the Metropolitan of Thessalonica, the Metropolitan of Chicago, and so on. The bishop of this, the bishop of that. Others are just auxiliaries and or titular bishops. In other words, all these metropolitans that are of extinct dioceses in Asia Minor that have no churches, that have no parishioners. Have you ever stopped to think, if they have that many titular bishops of extinct dioceses, how are they being paid? How can they travel all over the world? On whose dime? I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. I really don't. But the idea that there are that many bishops within the Patriarchate of Constantinople, and here in America we can't have, of the 50 plus bishops of the various jurisdictions, divvy up all of the states into regular territorial dioceses is absurd. Okay, it doesn't even make sense. So what happened to Gail is regrettable. She asked me a while back to protect her. I did, and I'm going to. Her circumstances are not ideal. She lives, you know, I'm not going to say in fear, because she walks in faith. Maybe we should. And maybe those of us who are men, who care for our women folk, maybe we should step up to the plate and make sure that this never happens again. Not only to individual women like Gail, and there are others. She's just the tip of the iceberg, at least as far as Palm Desert is concerned. Okay, she's not the only one. But to our mother is the church. We need to step up to the plate and stop this nonsense and call bishops to account. One of my commentators just recently posted something that, according to the U.S. Navy, there are very few rights that seamen, sailors, junior officers, and warrant officers have. But they have the right to a good senior officer. We have the right to having good bishops. Not perfect bishops. Not bishops who walk on water. Not bishops who perform miracles. But good bishops. Good men. On that note, I'm going to bring this to a close. I'm also going to think long and hard about going forward with this blog. My disappointment is I'm going to have to think about it. In the meantime, I do say Pax Vobiscum. I do say let's try to love one another. Over and out for now. Bye.